Good morning. We're talking about this inside revolution that the kingdom of God and Jesus, the king of that kingdom, brings into the human heart. That the invisible kingdom has come into our visible world and then invaded the invisible heart of people to be able to produce something that works its way out into the visible world. He starts off by talking about anger and how anger is so quickly fires things up, so quickly alienates people, so quickly actually dismantles so many of the things that God is actually doing in our lives. And he is actually very practical in terms of how to deal with this internal kind of issue. Yesterday, we talked about this idea of naming and claiming and taming and aiming our anger. But I love the way that James actually talks about dealing with this in James chapter 1, verse 19 and 20. He says this, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Because human anger does not produce the righteousness or set things right the way that God desires." There's a speed in this whole thing that typically anger has a speed. In me, and I'm not saying that applies to the same for everyone, but in me, it's very quick. The thing that I talked about on Sunday is the guy, and when I'm behind the wheel of a car, somebody does something and I will get flame on very, very quickly in this. There's a speed to anger. Some of you stew in your own juices for a long time. You get angrier over time. But there's a speed to this that James is trying to address, that when we react in anger, that we normally don't do our best work, and often we actually sin against God and those people who are actually interacting with. Then instead he says, let's just slow it down, just gear it down. Slow down the whole process. When you start feeling the anger start to surge, slow it down. Start to listen. Listen to God, listen to people. Listen to even to your own RPMs. Don't speak initially. Don't vent initially. Check that. You can take responsibility for this and you can check it and not just, erupt in all of that, because nobody makes you angry. You get angry because it's something that's going on inside of you. You got stimulus that's provocative, of course, but anger for us is a choice. So think about that today as we explore this week. Thanks so much for joining me. Talk tomorrow.